Բարևձեզ սիրելի հերոստատող բարեկամներ, անգամ եւս կողջունեմ ձեզ AMGA հերոստանգերության հիմնակար հաղորդաշարով։ Մեր այսօրվա ծրագիրը դարձյալ անգլերենով պիտի ենենք, որբեսի մեր նոր սերունդը, որոնք կարող է եւ անգլերենը ավելի զորավոր է, քան թե հայերենը, եւ կուզենք անպայմանորեն իրենց հղել այս հաղորդումները, որբեսի օրը եթե մենք չլինենք, իրենք կարողանան իմանան, թե ով են իրենք, ով է հայությունը, ով ենք մենք, ուրեմն սիրելիներ, ով ենք մենք, թիվ 4 հաղորդաշարի շարունակությունն է այսօր. Dear viewers, you're watching AMGA TV Himnakar, and today's topic is Who Are We? Part 4. As previously, we spoke about the maps and geography and the history of Armenia. Today, we're kind of continuing Who Are We? Part 4. So, I would like to go right away to the very first map and start with that, because if we're talking about Armenia, first of all, who are Armenians? Where is Armenia? And this kind of general question are given to me, and I try to explain them with historic proof. And I go back to the oldest tradition, oldest information that we gathered, that it's not Armenian source. It is a Greek historian. His name was Herodotus. Herodotus was 450 BC, before Christ. He wrote a book about the travelings that he did from Greece all the way to the Far East until India. And therefore, that particular books was donated to the people who, for the ancient people, and the book itself called The Histories. And it provided detailed information about Armenia and the Armenians on trading between Armenia and Babylon. So this is his words. They said, the land of Armenians who dwell above the Assyrians is the highland of Armenia. In ancient and really medieval sources, as well as in the Bible, the land is called the Armenian highland. In Armenian, we call it Lering Hayot. Since the 19th century, these ancient and medieval geographical terms have been adopted in the geographical and geological literature as the generalized term. It says, if in German we call it das armenische Gebirge, or das armenische Hochland, or das armenische Bergland, the Armenian highland. Here you see very clearly that where Anatolia and where Armenian highland. I'm going to go back and explain to you by the end of this program. But for now, Anatolia in Old Greek means the land of East, because you can see here that Greece is on the west side of this, and Anatolia, which is today's Turkey, is the east side of Greece. Therefore, Anatolia in Greek means the eastern land. So therefore, to say for the Armenian highland, eastern Anatolia, has no meaning, because what you're saying is, you're saying eastern of eastern land. It doesn't make sense. I understand there is a political issue here. Turks that now they own this land. They don't want anything to relate it to Armenian and Armenians. Therefore, instead of Armenian highland, they're using Eastern Anatolia, which it doesn't make any sense. Since the 19th century, this ancient and medieval geographical term, which is the Armenian highland, have been adopted in the geographical and geological literatures. So earliest evidence of the name of Armenia are found in the Akkadian inscription dating back to the 3rd millennium. The Akkadian sources have been in the center of the researchers' attention, particularly studying the localization of Armenum. What they were saying is, in this respect, different opinions have been suggested. 3 regions. First, in the southwest of Armenian highland, to the west of the Euphrates, and the third in the northern Mesopotamian. Here in this map, you can see the white lines determine today's maps, meaning Turkey. Southern of this map is Syria. On the eastern part, which is the right of you, is you can see Iraq, today's Iraq, Iran, today's Armenia, and above Armenia is Georgia and the Black Sea. So to the Anatolia, which is today Turkey, and then Greece, and so on, Europe. So today, I'm going to talk about a very important issue, because that particular issue is, sadly, Armenian history is part of the land. But since 14th century, that land is taken and suppressed first by the Ottoman Empire, and then what we call it after the World War I, Turkish government. Therefore, they're trying to eliminate anything has to do with Greece, has to do with Armenia, has to do with Assyrians. So therefore, for them, there is no Armenia, there is no Greek in Anatolia, in Turkey, today's Turkey. There are no Assyrians. They are all Turks. Therefore, they're trying to rename the cities, rename the countries, and they're denying their existence. So today, I am going to talk about the Armenian pantheon of gods. The word pantheon in Greek means pantheon. Pan means the place, the temple, and theon or theo. Theo is God, theon is gods. So it is a place of gods. Of course, when you travel to Rome, you're going to go and visit Pantheon, meaning the place where the gods are. Now today, it's a Christian cathedral. It used to be a Roman temple for the gods. So therefore, let's start. One of the pearls, let me have the, okay. One of the pearls in the culture of the Armenian people is the pantheon of Armenian pagan gods located on the top of the mountain Nemrut, which is located in the southern part of historic Armenia. Today, it belongs to Turkey. Gigantic statues of gods in the sanctuary on the top of the mountain, what you can see it here, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site built more than 2,000 years ago. These shrines, according to the complexity of their construction, are recognized by some specialists as the eighth wonder of the world. Here you can see this gigantic heads, and this actually belonged to the statue behind them. it is practically 25 to 26 foot tall statues. Imagine only this head alone is about 3 meters, which is 9 to 10 feet high. So the history of the place from the point of view of the archaeologists begins in the 62 BC after the peace treaty which Rome concluded in Ardashir. In 66 BC, the Armenian Kamak or Kamagena becomes an independent kingdom, and Antioch I from Armenia, Orontes dynasty, becomes the king of Komagan kingdom. Here you see an aerial picture of the sanctuary. The sanctuary was built on the mountain Nimrud, as you can see, and the mountain Nimrud is 2,143 meters. So surrounded by huge statues of those Armenian pagan gods, each they are about 10 meter, which it's equivalent to 25 to 30 feet high. There is also the tomb of King Antioch in there. The central part of the tomb is a massive mount, man-made small stones, and the height of which almost 50 meters, with radius of 150 meters. So this is the reconstructed. Actually, this used to be. This is how it used to be looked like prior to the demolished, because in 1840s there was a very big earthquake in that area, and therefore this gigantic statues were fallen apart. So this is how used to be when Armenians have to put to fire and pray for those gods. Actually, not everybody who's sitting there is God. On the both sides that you can see is here one lion and one eagle on each side. And then there are 4 statues who are also sitting there. So the supreme God, which is a creator of heaven and earth, called Aramazd, which has height of 9 meters. He is the highest of all other 4. He is sitting in the middle. The right of Aramazd stands the statue of goddess Astrid, the girl. And in Armenian mythology, the goddess Astrid is goddess of love and beauty. On the other side of Aramazd, the statue of Mir, the god of light and justice. So, according to the legend, Mir was born to the world from a rock naked, but with a covered head, holding a dagger in his right hand and a torch in his left hand. Okay, so now, right from the throat of the main god is the creator of the shrine, the King Antioch himself. So he put himself also. On the other side, there is a statue of Vahakan. Vahakan, the ancient Armenian god of fire, wars, and thunderstorm. So now you can see that this, including the King Antioch I, a bitter feeling of loss haunts Armenians today when they are forced to come to their shrine as a tourist. And of official Turkey does not mention, not even one word, Armenian anymore when describing these historical monument. Both on the plates and the stories of the local guide, only they start saying that this could be the Apollo, it could be Zeus, it could be this and that. Here you don't see anything. This actually was taken from a Turkish tourist guide brochure, And I was surprised that no one called in or, told them the names of the statue was placed wrongly. So therefore, my dear friends, when you see this kind of distortion of the history, especially when we're going to go, hopefully we can see the coins, because what their Turks are saying here, okay, please stay with me here, okay? Now, let's compare the information that we have with the information that Turks are saying. The Oranitides kingdom, also known by the Armenian name Yervantuni or Yervantuninere, was a hereditary Armenian dynasty and rulers of the successor state of Iron Age, kingdom of Urartu or Ararat. The traditional Armenian tyra that you see now here on your left side, this is the actual coin that the king of Yervantuni was wearing. The tyra that you can see, the Armenian tiara, crown of them, and there is an eagle. And of course, there are eagle and a lion trademark of the Armenian identity, and we have that. So this is what the Yervantunis have, which Turkey is claiming that this was never an Armenian king. And let's go to the second one. This one here, see how silly they are. They're trying to distort the history. This is Dikran the Great, the Second. So this coins, you can find these coins when you go to the Mekhitarist Fathers Monastery in Vienna or in Venice, and you ask to see this coins of Great Dikran II. Let's go back and see how the same here. Okay, so it's laughable, but at the same time it's sad because Turkey is trying to destroy the Armenian history. And let's go to the other coins too. And here also you can see the third one, where the Roman coins, this is a Roman coin, and it's saying that Kapta, Armenia Kapta, the same coin you can see in Yerevan Historic Museum, in Vienna, Austria, and in Venice, Italy, by the Mekhitarist Fathers. You can see this, the same coins. They are made out of silver in Rome. And said here, it says Armenia Kapta, meaning that Armenians were captivated, Armenians lost the war. Therefore, the Caesar here printed this Jubilee coins to celebrate the victory over Armenians. Okay? Now when we go to the second one here you see the same thing, that the Caesar here, he is the Mark Antonius Augustus. You can read it. It's in Latin. And here it says, we besieged the Kamekan, the Armenian kingdom. So no matter what Turkey is saying, but Mark Antony, denarius silver, which was the highest dinar, highest coin in the Roman Empire, and it is from the 37th BC, in memory of the victory over Armenia, had of Antony on the left, Armenia Tyre, symbol of Armenia on the right, on the background, bow and arrow, and other symbols of Armenian. From another example, below we observe a wall, here, next picture please, of relief of Antiochus I. So when you go to Nemrut and visit the Nemrut, Mount Nemrut place, you're going to see here this stone where clearly shows that the king Antiochus is talking to Vahakan. Vahakan is equivalent to the Greek deity of Heracles. Heracles was a champion. Here you can see a bodybuilder. He was full of muscles, and Antioch, the King Antioch I, he is dedicating his land to this god Heracles. Right after that, below we can see coin of Artaxerxes. This is Artaxerxes. You can tell from his nose that he is pure Armenian. Okay? Artaxerxes, rulers also depicting on the right side Vahakan, Heracles, the same symbol, the same thing that we see parallel of Armenian traditional coins with coincide with the stone that we previously showed you. So, in the conclusion, my dear friends, I think it is necessary to talk about several common mistakes that have a political origin and are mistakenly used as a geographical term. I will ask please to go to that map again, and this is where I'm going to conclude. These are the names of Eastern Anatolia given to the highland of Armenia, and the names of South Caucasus or Transcaucasus or Lesser Caucasus given to the northeastern part. The latter is used a geographical name for the northeastern mountain range of highland that you can see here. Armenian highland is not a part of Anatolia. Anatolia, as I told you, and please, when you see Mr. Erdogan or Aliyev, please say hi from me and tell that Steve is saying, stop using wrong terminology. There is no Eastern Anatolia. As I said before at the beginning of this program, Anatolia in Old Greek means the land of eastern part. So therefore, when you see Anatolia here, meaning from Greece, it's the eastern land. And when now the Turks, they don't want to mention anything that has to do with Armenia, and instead of saying Armenian highland, which always was used, that terminology, they're using the word Eastern Anatolia, which is so stupid, meaning eastern land of eastern land. Can you imagine? Eastern land of eastern land. In professional literature, the name Anatolia is used in a broader sense only in connection with Asia Minor. Anatolia is translated, as I said, from Greek as eastern land. The next common mistake that the term Caucasus or Southern Caucasus, which is mainly applied to the northeastern part of the Armenian highland and has political nature, because in the early 19th century, Russians came over. We're going to go there, and when I'm going to have Who We Are Part 5, explain to you how Armenia was divided always between East and West. The same thing is happening today. Sadly, I'm not going to go there, but what I'm going to tell you as a conclusion, when the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, the Republic of Turkey was established in its attempts to shroud the Armenian heritage, the Greek heritage, the Assyrian heritage in Turkey. The authorities of the Republic began systematic campaign to alter all Armenian names, places, cities. These attempts included the name change of the geographical expression, the Armenian Plateau to Eastern Anatolia, the Armenian Highland to the Eastern Highland. As a conclusion, I am going to say to the young Armenians, our next generation, who are going to take the torch from us to give to their children and their children's children. I like to bring this up, very important wording that Moses Khorenatsi, or Moses of Khorenatsi, in 5th century said to his students, you belong to a primordial, a brave nation that is not only worthy of praise and contemplation, but one which has also accomplished countless glorious deeds that we will mention in this book. This is how he starts the history of Armenia in the 5th century. Moses Khorenatsi was the student of the creator of the Armenian alphabet, Mesrop Mashtots, in 406. So therefore, when Khorenatsi tells to his students that this history is full of word of accomplishment, countless deeds, glorious deeds. Therefore, we, you and I, we all, no matter where we are, no matter where we were born, Armenia, Artsakh, or in diaspora, we should say, like our famous poet is saying, Baruch Sevak, մենք մեզ ոչ մեկից չենք կերատասում. We're not putting us above anybody else, but we know that we are called Armenians and why we should not be proud. We were, we are, and we shall be. Thank you very much for your attention. And այսպեսով սիրելի հեռուստայտող բարեկամներ, կավարտեմ իմ այսօրվա ելույթը, կցանկանամ ձեզ բոլորիդ բարի աշխատանք, բարի կյանք, մեր մայր հայրենիքին պայծառ երկինք եւ կանաչ ճանապարհ։ Ցտեսություն մինչեւ մյուս շաբաթ։